we can't even say that perception is going on. Perception is a result of the cognitive process which allows us to order things to make some sort of sense so that we can interact with what is going on. And what is going on we can just simply refer to as cosmic consciousness. I like to just call it the field of experiencing, but I suppose the term cosmic consciousness gives it another kind of resonance. In this, it is the mind that conjures up the diversity, the mind in the sense of cognitive process. In this, it is the mind that conjures up the diversity, diverse actions and experiences, the notion of bondage and the desire for liberation. Rama asked, O holy sage, what is the source of this mind and how did it arise? Kindly enlighten me on these. Vasistha replied, after the cosmic dissolution and before the next epoch dawned, the entire objective universe was in a state of perfect equilibrium. I've mentioned before that when we're talking about the universe and creation and so on, there's a tendency to think of it in terms of cosmological terms like the Big Bang or when God created the world in 7 days or whatever, as some kind of momentous event of creation. And I've said in the past that we should try and bring this back to a personal level. Creation is going on, the whole universe is being created moment to moment. Not just the whole universe, but new universes are being created from moment to moment. But the Yoga Vasistha seems to be talking on a cosmological level sometimes. It's saying, after the cosmic dissolution and before the next epoch dawned. Cosmic dissolution usually refers to when the universe has come to an end. I think there's a name for it in physics when all energy is at a state of total entropy or something. Everything's just reverted to a homogeneous cosmic noise. There's no form or no stars or anything. So this is a state of cosmic dissolution. But after this, the universe comes into being again. This is in the Hindu tradition, the Hindu way of thinking. But that state of, after the cosmic dissolution and before the next epoch dawned, the entire objective universe was in a state of perfect equilibrium. I suppose this is a state of non-being, but it's hypothetical, remember. There then existed the Supreme Lord, the eternal, unborn, self-effulgent, who is the all and who is omnipotent. He is beyond conception and description, though he is known by various names like Atma, etc. Of course, Atma just means self with a capital S. These are viewpoints and not the truth. That's what it says here. These are viewpoints and not the truth. So let's try and get into the spirit of it. There's a spirit being conveyed here, not a concept. He is, yet he is not realized by the world. He is within the body too, yet he is far. So this Supreme Lord, the eternal, unborn, self-effulgent, who is the all and who is omnipotent, who is in a state of perfect equilibrium. Well, no, the objective universe is in a state of perfect equilibrium. But what exists within that state? Well, there's the Supreme Lord, and he is within the body. He is within the body. And from him emerged countless divinities like Lord Vishnu, even as countless rays emerge from the sun. From him emerged infinite worlds as ripples arise from the surface of the ocean. So I'm tempted to say here that the cosmic dissolution After the cosmic dissolution, the entire objective universe, in its state of perfect equilibrium, is actually a state deep within ourselves. Is that this state of cosmic dissolution is something we can access, or it's something we can direct the attention towards. He is the cosmic intelligence into which countless objects of perception enter. And that's what happens. Countless objects of perception are entering all the time. He is the light in which the self and the world shine. He ordains the characteristic nature of every created thing. In him the worlds appear and disappear, even as a mirage appears and disappears repeatedly. His form, the world, vanishes, but his self is unchanging. Everything is changing, but there is this constancy in the attention. Attention is what gives us awareness of all these objects of perception. He dwells in all. He is hidden and he overflows. By his mere presence, this apparently inert material world and its inhabitants are ever active. Because of his omnipresent, omnipotent omniscience, his very thoughts materialize. This Supreme Self cannot be realized, O Ram, by means other than wisdom, nor indeed by exerting oneself in religious practices. So we need wisdom. There isn't anything we can do to realize this. We just need that insight into how things are. And again, it's by the same. It's by the turning of the attention away from the objects of perception. Stop investing the attention in objects of perception and turn it back to itself. This self is neither far nor near. We don't apply distance to it. Distance is another part of the cognitive process. It is not inaccessible, nor is it in distant places. It is what in oneself appears to be the experience of bliss, and is therefore realized in oneself. The experience of bliss, this is something which is quite common to Hinduism, quite peculiar to Hinduism. They often go on about bliss. And in the sense that there's any sensation going on, we can look to see if it is blissful. Very often we can't actually cope with bliss, and our personality tends to prefer feelings of irritation or annoyance or negativity. But very often, if you want to look beyond that negativity, the sensation which gives rise to it can be reinterpreted, and it might actually be blissful. So this Supreme Self is therefore realized in oneself. Austerity or penance, charity and the observances of religious vows do not lead to the realization of the Lord. Only the company of holy men and the study of true scriptures are helpful, as they dispel ignorance and delusion. I suppose if you do have books and people that can turn you to point these things out to you continuously, and who are operating from that realization, then that's what will do the trick. Even when one is convinced that this self alone is real, one goes beyond sorrow on the path of liberation. Austerity or penance is self-inflicted pain. Of what value is charity performed with wealth earned by deceiving others? Only they derive the fruits of such charity. Religious observances add to one's vanity. There is only one remedy for ignorance of the Lord: the firm and decisive renunciation of craving for sense pleasure. So again, we often have this little go at conventional religious practices, which, if that's what people want to do, that's fine, but it's not, there's nothing spiritual about them. necessarily.